Na mtazamaji, kwingineko ni kwamba waziri wa mambo ya nje Bi Monica Juma anawaongoza mawaziri kutoka pande mbili za nchi ya Kenya na Uganda katika kuandaa ziara yake Yoweri Kaguta Museveni, rais wa Uganda. Hebu tuvuke katika jumba la Harambee tusikize akitoa hotuba yake.
When we benefited from the professional capability of Uganda to build our school system, to build our health system, and to build our entire human resource capacity. But this relationship has grown in the trade and investment area. Today, Uganda is our #1 trading partner, making it a significant partner and neighbor to Kenya. In addition, we collaborate in a number of regional issues, particularly regional peace and security. We collaborate in Somalia. Both Uganda and Kenya are contributors of our troops in Somalia in pursuit of international peace and security, in dealing with combating terrorism. We have been partners in the process in South Sudan, in Burundi, in the Great Lakes region, but we also see issues of continental and global arena from the same side. So this is a relationship that has continued to grow in its scope and significance to both Kenya and Ugandan people. In the next 3 days, we shall have a state visit with President Museveni arriving tomorrow, having bilateral relations discussions with President Uhuru, again to elevate. We believe this is going to elevate this relationship to the next level. The range of issues that we have been discussing are from foreign affairs, defense and security, trade and investment, agriculture, including livestock development, energy, transport, tourism, education, science and technology, health sector, youth development, as well as sports. In other words, it is a government-wide, society-wide relationship that we have been tasked with my colleague, Minister Kutesa, to help coordinate and to ensure that we fully fulfill the commitments that we have made. On my own behalf and that of the Kenyan delegation at the ministerial level, I wish to reaffirm Kenya's commitment to enhance these relations with Uganda, and I want to once again congratulate Minister Kutesa and his delegation for the work that we have managed to conclude in the last 3 days. We look forward to our second joint ministerial commission, which will be in Kampala, and we have also agreed on mechanisms of follow-up, constant follow-up in the implementation of all decisions. With those few remarks, let me invite Minister Kutesa to also make his statement. Minister.
Well, thank you very much, Honorable Monica Juma. First of all, I want to express on behalf of my delegation and my own behalf our appreciation for the hospitality and brotherly treatment that we have received from our brothers and sisters here in Kenya when we came for this Joint Permanent Commission meeting. We started with an officials meeting, and yesterday it culminated in the ministerial meeting. And as my sister Monica has explained to you, we covered a number of areas, mainly in 3 clusters. One on peace and security and foreign relations, another one on trade and investment, another one on social issues such as education and health. And we have agreed largely on everything, and now it's the phase of implementation that we have tasked our officials and ourselves to implement, work on, so that our relations are strengthened further. As my sister has said, the relations between Uganda and Kenya are both historical and also a result of geography. We are here together. We shall only be here together. And the best thing is to work on strengthening our relations. Besides, we interact in many other regional and international organizations. We are members of the East African Community together. We are members of IGAD. We are members of the Great Lakes region. We are members of COMESA and others. And we interact and work together closely in the AU and the UN and other bodies where we find common positions for our two countries. And we intend to strengthen these. So this time we have discussed also regional issues. Somalia, where we're both troop contributing countries, the region in South Sudan, where we are all concerned as members of IGAD, and we are finding ways to go forward and see that peace is brought to those two countries, and the gains that have been made are not lost. As my sister said, we're looking forward to the state visit by President Museveni starting tomorrow, and I have no doubt on my part that this will further strengthen the relations between our two countries, both at our ministerial level, but also at the level of their excellencies. On behalf of my delegation, I want to reiterate that Uganda values this relationship with Kenya in trade, in interaction as a people, both culturally and socially, but also in investment and working together in integrating our region. I thank you.
We can take a few questions or clarifications.
There's this issue that keeps coming tackled, the border issue, specifically the Gingo, because there's always that conflict of both the residents and the security personnel, the Kenyan security personnel, being harassed and bullied and humiliated by our Ugandan parts. I don't know if that was discussed, and when would the residents expect a permanent solution?
Well, it is true that there has been some issues around our border, and this is a matter that has been discussed extensively, in fact, during this segment. We have a plan of action that has been agreed upon in terms of dealing with the demarcation and delineation of this border. But we are also having a discussion around the broader issue of transboundary resources, in this case fishes, and how this can be sustainably managed and utilized by the people around the Lake Victoria area. So yes, it has been discussed. Yes, we have a plan of action. And yes, it will be one of the things that we'll be looking for full implementation starting now.
I totally agree with the account made by my sister, Monica. It was an issue that was top on the agenda in this cluster, and we have agreed on a work plan. We have agreed to look at it in broader ways, like as she mentioned, transnational resource management. More importantly, how to sustain this resource so that it can be of benefit to both our countries. So we have prioritized it, and we'll be working on it.
Any time frame, especially down to the residents, I want to know, because I'm sure it's now more than a decade. Any time frame?
I think we gave ourselves 3 months to have a work plan, and that's what we are going to be working on.
Last year. What are some of the changes?
It is true that we opened a one-stop border post, but in fact, it is not just going to be one. There are a number of border posts, and one of the discussions we were having in this session again was to designate a series of other points, because the idea is to grow the trade. The idea is to facilitate movement of goods, persons, and services. So the idea of making this border a soft border was a principal discussion in this JMC, and we hope to see more volumes. You know, it is true trade is growing. It is true there is more efficacy in terms of crossing the borders both ways, but we think there is still potential to continue to grow that trade.
If I may just add, because not only are we talking about growth of volumes, but we are talking about the turnaround time, turnaround period for goods to move from Mombasa to Kampala and vice versa. It has been reduced from 19 days to 4 days. I think that's a tremendous achievement.
there's a growing concern about imports of goods from Uganda, especially agricultural commodities, maize, and eventually we have the issue of eggs. There's traders in Nairobi say there's a glut of eggs from Uganda, which is hurting producers from the local market in Kenya. What do you say?
I don't think that that can be a big worry. If there is a glut, the prices for the consumer will come down.
Which is good.
Yes, but I don't think there is a glut at the moment.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, one last one. Okay, you'll have a chance. Okay.
My name is just wanted to know, are you concerned about the diplomatic spark between Uganda and Rwanda? Is this going to injure the ongoing efforts to correct the
Well, I mean, the preferred position is that there is more cooperation rather than difficulties. That does not, however, remove the possibility of challenges. What we want and what we have seen is that there is a willingness, at least from where I sit, from both Kampala and Kigali, to have conversations around the difficulties. And that is what is important, because whenever there are challenges, there must be ways of resolving those challenges. So I can confidently indicate that this is not threatening in any way the regional integration, and Sam is here to confirm, and that we are working through any challenges that might be there so they can be resolved.
Yes, we greatly value and are actually champions of regional integration. And we think any challenges that stand in the way of regional integration ought to be addressed, and they are being addressed.
Finally.
I think my question actually is just related to what he has asked, that you know, the head of the two presidents, Museveni and Kagame, had some kind of misunderstanding, and our President Uhuru Kenyatta took up that process to mediate. I just wanted to find out maybe so far that mediation has gone.
There are conversations going on between our three heads of state and others in the region. So I think it's a bit of privileged conversation, and I think we'd rather let them continue with their conversation and see the headway they make. Thank you.
Thank you very much. And we look forward to you continuing to inform the Kenyans about this very important state visit. We will be in Mombasa from tomorrow, and there are a number of segments, including a business forum. We expect President Museveni also to have a public lecture on Friday, and so we hope that we can see you and that we can share with Kenyans the elements of this state visit. I thank you and have a good afternoon.
Thank you.